Hey everybody, and welcome to this edition of Let's Talk Adult. I'm Jim Williams, and this is where you come for intelligent talk about sex. And one of the outstanding opportunities we've had here so far is to interview some of the best in the business. And I'm going to throw it to my partner, the AVN Award Winning King himself, Glenn King. GK, why don't you give us some opening thoughts, okay?
Greetings, my friend Jim, and greetings to all my brothers and sisters out there who are listening to our podcast. I'm so excited to have you guys back and excited about our guest today, the great Bryan Gozzling. Why are you guys my brothers and sisters? You're all part of my family because you are all part of the age of adult entertainment enlightenment. What is that? Well, that is the new world that we're coming into where people are starting to understand adult entertainment is not just the secret thing that's happening behind closed doors in California and San Francisco anymore. It's out there. It's becoming prevalent in all of America. We're all becoming enlightened about adult entertainment being just normal, the normal way to make a living for people. And having sexual fantasies is normal and something that should be encouraged. It's part of enlightenment. And that's why I'm excited about this podcast, Jim.
Well, it's also adult entertainment for the adult curious.
Exactly. Adult talk for the adult entertainment curious. So we're going to, all you guys out there who are curious about the industry, what's it like to be in it? How can you get in it? How do people make money? What kind of frustrations do people experience? You've come to the right place because that's what we're going to be talking about.
Okay, without any further ado, I'm going to toss it back to you, Glenn, with our guest, Mr. Gosling.
All right, so Jim, I got to explain something to you.
Okay.
The traditional method of somebody getting into the adult entertainment industry kind of works like a regular job for a lot of people. They go and they find a way to work into the business as a production assistant or whatever, and then they or a lot of them start as male talent, and then they express an interest to a producer. Hey, man, you should really hire me to be a director. And then they get on with a company, and they start doing pretty well, and then they find themselves as one of the directors in the business. There's only X number of jobs in the business that are like that. There's only X number of director jobs in the business. It's like 10 or 20. So it's just not easy for people to get into the business that way. And I've always told people there's other way to do it. You can just do it yourself. And our guest today is Bryan Gozzling. He is a director who directs for Evil Angel, but he got into the business the same way that I did, in that he started producing his own content. He did it to bring his fantasies and things that he likes and stuff like that and put it onto the screen. And as it blew up and he started doing really well, then he was contacted by some more mainstream type organizations and ended up doing his own thing and becoming one of the most popular and up-and-coming directors in the business. So this is a great person to bring on to talk to all the people out there who are kind of wondering, how do I get in the business? And we'll talk to somebody who's actually done it. So with that, let me introduce you to one of the guys I really respect in the business, Bryan Gozzling. Bryan, greetings.
Hey, how is everybody doing?
Hi, nice to have you, Bryan.
Thanks for the kind words, Glenn. I really respect you too. I always have. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you were coming in to Evil Angel just at the time that I was leaving Evil Angel.
Yeah, I remember that. And you gave me some good advice, and you were definitely one of the normal people that I appreciated meeting in the business early on.
My pleasure. I hope it helped you out. You seem to have done really well with him.
Oh yeah. Well, it's hard work every day, and the way that the industry is now is that you really got to work for your money and earn it. But as a producer director, independent producer director like me, but I'm no complaints. I'm very happy actually.
Yeah, people don't necessarily understand that you don't really get paid a salary by Evil Angel. You're an independent producer, correct?
That's right. Yeah, Evil is my distributor. So they distribute a evil angel friendly version of my content on the web and in DVD and VOD.
Yeah, and so you make it for the web, and then you give it to Evil Angel and let them distribute a version of it. That's what you're saying?
That's right, yeah.
And you put out the money for that. So how long does it take you before you actually start making money on a video that you put out through them?
Well, it's really interesting for me because it's just a hodgepodge, and I mean, I guess it's that way for everybody. Everyone's kind of diversifying their revenue streams as much as possible, and that's what I'm doing as well. But it's been an uphill climb, and it takes a while to see any significant any significant revenue coming in. But it's been about 3 years now that the site has been live. And we're doing well. We're growing every day, and that's what I look for. That's my goal. So doing well.
Yeah. So the reason I brought it up is I want people to understand that it doesn't work the way it used to. Even for independent producers, if you spend, and I'm just going to throw out a round number, like $10,000 to make a DVD, which would include 4 scenes, and that's $2,500 right, including the talent and so on, then right, you will probably not even make $10,000 back off of the DVDs. What we producers do these days is we have websites, VOD sites. You make money off of the Pornhub, perhaps, or
exactly,
or you make money off of clip stores and so on.
Right. Well,
let me,
I don't actually. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was going to ask you about how you got into the business, because I think it's a very interesting story. And I don't know it.
Right. Well, it's a long story, I guess, but basically, I was growing marijuana. I've been in the medical marijuana business for a long time in the Bay Area. I used to live in the San Francisco, Oakland Bay Area, and me and a couple business partners have been working in medical marijuana up there for a long time. We, 4 years ago when I got started, 5 years ago when I got started, it was all still, medical marijuana was legal, recreational was not. So there was some incentive for me and my business partners to start a business that was outside of the medical marijuana industry because for a bunch of reasons. So we decided I was actually producing content on my own without anyone else paying for it or involved with it for about 6 months up there in Berkeley, Oakland, California. And eventually I had the idea of, just being really small, a clip store, just basically just producing content and getting it to try to pay for itself, and basically, trying to start an LLC, trying to start my own independent company that I could, no matter how small it was, build on. So that's what I did. And then I brought the idea to my partner and friend, and he loved it. He was like, let's go for it. He basically, helped invest in getting everything started, to really take it to the level that it is at now. And it was a crazy leap. I've always been an artist. I've done art all my life, and I've always wanted to sell my art. I've always wanted to start a business where I could just be creative and have that be my product. And porn just kind of, and I also always wanted to start a business where I knew I wouldn't end up sick of the job, or at least have a good chance of not being sick of this job. So I wanted to be adult. Sounded like a good idea, and my business partner agreed.
Well, okay, so explain to our listeners about your art. So Hookup Hotshot, what is it exactly, and how did you come up with the idea?
So Hookup Hotshot is the idea is that it's a dating site only for people who want to hook up. No dating, no. So it's a real, true hookup app. And the idea is that I am finding these girls who are looking for, no strings attached experiences, and they're not getting fucked right out there out by their boyfriend or by whoever. So they come onto the dating app to look for someone to hook up with. And
a real man.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the premise. And the idea is, it's interesting because it came from, it was pretty organic. I was already using dating apps like Tinder and whatnot to, just hooking up in general. And it basically, just really seemed natural. So and it also seemed like a great idea because I wanted to come up with something that would be, something I could rely on doing every week, and also something not too, overly complicated or distracting from the content, which is really what the site is about,
Before I got in the business, I went to AVN one year, and I wrote an article for a magazine, and I interviewed Patrick Collins, who was the owner of Elegant Angel at the time. And he told me, he said, the secret to making great adult entertainment or great porn is that you don't build a scene around your fantasies so much as you don't cast somebody from your fantasies so much as you cast the girls you like best, and then you find out their fantasies, and then you build a scene around what turns them on. And it seems like that's kind of what you do, because the girls seem very into the scenes when you cast them and shoot them.
Yeah, I would say that's probably, that's just genius advice that you got, because that's Hookup Hotshot. It's really interesting. It's a whole process shooting here, and I take it very seriously. And I communicating with the girls and really finding someone who understands what it's about is everything. And it starts with the model, you know what I mean? Having a model who is really honestly into this content, loves it, wants to be on the site, who enjoys everything about it, because that's what the members of my site like. It's really it's one of the things that I'm really proud of, actually, is that the majority of members of my site, and the kink, if you want to call it that we have on Hookup Hotshot, is extreme porn that the girls clearly enjoy. Right. And
because you're rough on
my members really love it.
Like it's aggressive sex, right? How do you classify?
Well,
what do you call the genre?
As really dominant sex. I just pretty much simply like that, just almost fundamentally dominant sex. It's just very simple, stripped down. There's no, a lot of people will draw comparisons to BDSM. I don't see a whole lot of comparison other than the dominant component, but I really just consider it dominant, rough sex.
But it comes from the
erotic.
I'm sorry. I was just going to ask.
I call myself.
Go ahead, Glenn.
I was going to say I call myself erotic female domination, erotic femdom, because I was trying to do BDSM without BDSM on the female side.
Right.
And maybe that's what yours is erotic male dom.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of times, the dominant stuff is all in the words, and a lot of the stuff that doesn't happen on screen or even, overtly. It's all in between the lines and whatnot, so I don't. But yes, it's interesting.
Let me ask you both. Yeah, I was just going to ask you both. In both cases, it's the women, the talent, who are in many ways dictating to you guys what they want to get out of the scene that makes the scene successful. Is that basically, I mean, that seems to sound exactly what both of you are talking about.
Yeah, that's absolutely it for me. Basically, I have a bunch of rules and caveats, with if as to who I'm going to shoot, and one of them is, if the model is honestly going to be proud of this content, going to leave here happy and proud of the product, and I want to make something that her and I work together on creating, that she enjoys and wants to show people just as much as I do. And without that, it's really not a good scene. It's really not a scene at all, if you ask me.
Yeah, and you've gotten some criticism on Twitter lately. I think from people who don't quite understand what you just said, that the criticism was that you're only trying to shoot girls who are brand new and naive and don't understand what they're getting into. But I think that's really pretty far from what's correct, right?
Yeah, I see that. Or yeah, that happened. That came up, and what's so funny is that is something that I am constantly checking myself on every single day, and especially when I'm considering booking a model, I am constantly making sure. A big thing for me is I really only shoot models who I believe are doing this for healthy reasons, and a lot of times people don't understand that, finding out the reasons and the motivations for why someone is doing porn or doing anything, it's not so easy to figure out just by judging them on their age. You know what I mean? Because sure, a lot of it's a choice as to how you want to treat your models. You know what I mean? Do you want to be someone who pushes them past their boundaries and exploits them so that you can get the kind of content that you want, or do you want to shoot ethically, make sure that no one is hurt, etc.? And for me, it's not really a choice. It's just if the content isn't shot responsibly and the model isn't here doing it for what her and I would agree are healthy reasons, then it's not good content.
Yeah, and then also I really hate it when people say to me, well, you're not casting this type, so you're discriminating. And it's like, well, no, it's called marketing. My audience likes big boobs and bimbo look, big lips and big butts and, Barbie dolls. And I've had people attack me on Twitter and just say that, oh, so, you're discriminating against the girl next door types. And it's like,
right.
Well, I put my stuff up, and whatever sells the most is what I tend to go try to do more of. And it's pretty simple. And I think you're doing the same thing too. In fact, I think you've tried some different things in terms of going with MILFs and so on, and found that the market.
Yeah. I don't have. I'm the talent, so it's really it's whoever that I feel I want to work with, and but I really don't have any specific types or any criteria for body types. I never talk about, or that's never an issue with me for booking. I never. It's really about honesty, real willingness to be here. Health is a big important thing for me. Being healthy, and but yeah, the thing about people judging, it's so funny, this industry, because it's not like we're not trading on the stock market, we're not selling widgets, we're not manufacturing license plates or something. It's sex work, and sex is all about desire, things that you can't quite quantify as easy as these other things. And a lot of times people want to be like, oh, if you shoot someone like this, then you should also shoot someone like this. And if you do this, then you should also be doing this. That's not how sex is. Sex is about, this kind of ethereal thing that I think people overlook when they say stuff like that.
Especially when you're the talent. And this is something I go through too, is that sometimes I don't want to shoot a girl just because I'm not attracted to her. And I don't have an explanation.
Exactly.
But if I'm in the scene in a lot of cases, I don't want to put myself in a scene with somebody that is not, the kind of girl that I'm into.
Well, to me, a big part of my business and Hookup Hotshot especially is honesty, like real true honesty, where we don't fake anything here. And I mean that we respect, I respect sex. I respect my partner enough to be honest completely and not fake anything. And if I'm gonna, I don't want to lie to the model when I'm shooting them, just in order to get them in because of a certain body type. It's just not fair to them or to me or to anyone else, really.
Right. Well, I'm looking at your Twitter. So this is kind of interesting. Looks like your latest scene has Goddess Kaya. So we both did something unique with her. I gave her her first opportunity to do a scene that involved sexuality at all. She had never been in a scene where she had her vagina licked or whatever. Or, I think where a guy had made physical contact with her.
Right.
And then now it looks like you have given her her first boy-girl scene. And it was also a chance for her to be submissive, I'm guessing, as well. How'd that go?
Yeah. That was awesome. That was an awesome scene. Kaya was really amazing and is really amazing. Yeah, it was really interesting, That's kind of the way that I do things is I don't I just go off of how I get along with people and how they approach me and how they carry themselves and whether I think that they're going to be someone that's a good match for the site. And she just was. I reached out to her. I said, I think you're gorgeous. I'd love to shoot you sometime if you're ever open to it. And she was, and we just kept talking, and we talked on the phone a few times before that, and it was great. She really is like me, where she understands that shooting is it's a fantasy. Number one, porn is a fantasy, and shooting a scene is, we both agree to partake in a certain fantasy for this moment. And it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't reflect on you or your what you do outside of this moment. And you can really, do whatever you want. It doesn't. You shouldn't. That you don't have to, label yourself and limit yourself. And that if you have really, it's just a matter of self-confidence. Then you can really just go out and do whatever you want. And she's the one who really, brought that idea to it, and it went from there. It was a great scene.
Glenn and I will be back with more of Let's Talk Adult right after this.
The local wine shop, a place where people go to get confused, frustrated, and end up picking pretty labels instead of great wine. Well, now there's a better way. At tastingroom.com, America's #1 personalized wine club. Every bottle is selected based on your personal wine profile, and fewer than 1 in 50 wines makes it through our rigorous selection process. We're so sure that you'll love our wines that every bottle is backed by our total satisfaction guarantee. The Huffington Post calls Tasting Room the first wine club to get it right. Get amazing wines at incredible prices, selected just for you, delivered right to you. Go to tastingroom.com and receive your exclusive tasting kit of world-class wines. Once you get your kit, taste, rate, and build your personal profile one sip at a time. It's a no-brainer. Great wine without the guesswork, backed by our total satisfaction guarantee. Go to tastingroom.com, enter promo code GRAPE8, and get your exclusive tasting kit, a $40 value for just $6.95. Tastingroom.com, code GRAPE8. Tastingroom.com. Taste, rate, enjoy.
More of Let's Talk Adult with me, Jim Williams, and of course, the one and only Glenn King. Real quick, do you have any performers that you enjoy working with the most?
I know, not really. I don't have any. I tend not to do any. Think of it even really like that. But I do. I've had scenes where we kind of reach a moment that is really standout special. it's really hard to pick one. My scene with my submissive now, Baby Goth, was probably one of my favorites, though. If I had to name one, it's a really, really, really good special scene.
Who is this girl? Is she a porn performer, or that's her name is Baby
No.
Goth?
Yeah, her name's Baby Goth. Yeah, no, she's not really shooting porn yet, but she's not wanting to yet, but she is my submissive. I met her about a year ago now, and yeah, she lives here at the house, and we just started shooting. She does camming and does other sex work stuff, but I shot her first scene just a couple months ago, and I actually just shot her first anal, and that's going up on the site in about a month.
Nice. We have Rocky Emerson on the calendar for next week. How did her scene go?
Oh, Rocky's awesome. Yeah, she was great. That was another great one, where Rocky she's just gorgeous and taller than most models that I've shot. And, some people might say that wouldn't work, or they would want, they would argue against that, but that scene worked out great. I loved it.
Yeah, I'm under 5'8", okay? I'm between 5'7" and 5'8". And I'm putting myself in a scene with Rocky next week, I think.
Hey, you're going to love it.
I'm going to do something where she's going to play like my new roommate that I found on Craigslist or something like that. Yeah. And I'm going to come home and find that she took the car, and then she'll come in and say like, oh, sorry, I scraped your Mercedes against something. It's got like a huge dent on the side. And then I'll be like, who even said you could use the car? And then she'll shove me around and go, yeah, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah. No, man, she's got great energy, great actress. I mean, very smart, sharp girl. And we shot her, and she's like, I think she's 6'3". I put her in 5-inch heels, man. I got her. I don't care. She looks great.
6'3"? I didn't even realize she's that tall. 6'3"? Did you say without the heels?
I think so. Maybe. Oh, yeah. I don't want to I don't want to misheight her, but I believe so. But I mean, it's all strength to me. I think her height was one of the things that made the scene so special. Yeah,
I'm excited about that. If people want to check out Bryan's website, by the way, it's hookuphotshot.com. And if you look at his Twitter, Bryan Gozzling, BryanGozzling, he's running a deal right now, which is just like, I'm just upset that you're running a deal this good, because you're making me look bad here. $9.95 a month for life?
Yeah. That's a good one.
So everyone check
one of the good ones.
Out. That's a good deal.
When the $9.95 a month for life's deal pops up, that's when you want to grab it, because I got so many great scenes that are coming up, and so many booked that, I mean, Hook Up Hot Shot is only getting better and better.
Oh, who do you have coming up?
Man, let me bring up.
There you go.
That's awesome. I have Jane.
You put me on the spot like that. Like, I can't remember. I never can remember who's next on my list. I just know it's Rocky because we've been shut down from shooting for the last week, and so now I'm familiar with my calendar.
I've got some really great ones. Gabriela Lopez is amazing. I have Kitty Carrera coming, who I don't know if you've seen her. She's a newer girl who is just absolutely gorgeous, if you ask me. And I have Madison Maya is coming. She was in the industry a little while, but I guess she's back. I've got Carmen Ray. I've got let me think here. Yeah, Rocky Emerson. First anal is actually coming. We're gonna shoot her first anal here on Hook Up Hot Shot.
Nice. Very nice. That's I got to start watching your site more often, because you do get the newer girls, and then it's good for me to take a look at them and see them in action. And you're bringing out personality in them too, because some girls, like for me, it's not really a problem whether they can be dominant or not dominant. It's just a matter of whether or not they have personality that you can bring out in the scene by giving them a good role play.
Right. And one thing that's for sure that I always kind of want to impart to other directors is I do shoot a lot of new girls, but if they end up on hookuphotshot.com, that means that is a very reliable, very on the level, very smart, and good girl to shoot. You know what I mean? Because I don't shoot anyone who is questionable or going to give you a bad scene or anything like that. So that's just something to remember, for other producers and directors.
Very important. I'm going to start texting you more often and asking you about girls that you shot, because I need to start
I'll always
some more fresher faces on my site.
For me, I do a go-see with everyone where I sit and talk and watch some trailers with each model before I shoot. I talk, pretty extensively with them about, why they're here, what they want to get out of the scene, what they, what they enjoy, what they don't. So, I take it serious, and Hookup Hotshot, I always tell the girls it's a little different from other sites because I don't have to fill any quotas. I don't have to produce any scenes. I really don't have to do anything. I only do stuff that I want to do and that is, right. So, it's kind of like, it's not a porn factory, where, and you understand this too, Glenn, you know what I mean? Where a lot of other sets might feel like that,
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Jim wants to ask you about the production hold, but I got to mention something real quick because you brought up go-sees. I've stopped doing go-sees, Brian, because it's just so difficult to deal with the girls that don't get selected. Sometimes I'll have a girl come on a go-see and she fires off an email to me or a text, and it's like every week I get another one saying, when are you going to shoot me? I've had one girl on Twitter say I wasted her time because I didn't end up shooting her, and it's like, well, it's not a waste of time. You just don't know if you're going to shoot a girl until you meet her. But how do you deal with those that you don't pick?
Well, that's a good question. The go-see issue, for whatever reason, hasn't come up, but I am constantly, it's a major issue for me, actually, how to deal with models that I don't end up shooting or don't want to shoot or don't choose to shoot for whatever reason. And I definitely have had some, models in their, when they, in their darker moments, send me messages or reach out, in anger because I'm not shooting them. And to them, I say, there are a lot of different factors that go into why I shoot someone and when. And also that I run a business. I'm not a Fortune 500 company or a foreign porn conglomerate like MindGeek. I don't have the capacity to shoot anyone I want or anyone who wants to shoot for me. So unfortunately, that's just kind of the way it shakes out. But that's really, I just deal with it. I just try to be honest and straightforward. And, if people act, don't want to accept that, then, that's kind of their choice.
Guys,
I mean, everyone feels rejection. Sorry, Jim wanted to ask you about the production hold.
I was just going to ask you both.
Sure.
You both had a production hold. Explain what that is and tell us your thoughts on it, guys.
Well, Glenn has been in the industry for much longer than me. He could probably take that one.
Sure. Here's the thing. What we do involves intimate contact. It is a job where people get intimately involved with each other, and there's always a danger of transmission of diseases. Mm-hmm. And as an industry, we can't eradicate HIV, for example. There's nothing we can do. A certain percentage of the population is going to go and engage in a sex act somewhere in their life and catch a disease. And then what we have to do in the industry is contain it. our objective is to put up a wall or a barrier around our industry that prevents a person from going outside the industry, contracting a disease, bringing it into the industry, having sex with somebody on set, and giving that to them. And then once it's behind the wall, well, then, it could end up getting transmitted to multiple people. That's our nightmare scenario. So what we do is we test every 14 days. If you're a performer, you get tested sometime within the last 14 days before you do a scene. And hopefully we catch somebody who before they can perform. And most of the time, what it is that somebody who has never performed before goes to a testing facility before their first scene and then finds out, shocking and horribly, that they have HIV, because a lot of people don't even realize they have it yet. And what happened this week is that a performer, we don't really know who it is or whether it's a guy or a girl. We don't find out that information, but we found out that somebody contracted HIV. And so the first thing they do is they go and grab everybody and say, well, who have you performed with? That's immediately they need to know. So then they retest anyone who's been in a scene with that person. And if you don't have anybody that got it, if you don't have two people that are in the industry that have it, then at least for starters that it didn't get transmitted on set. And why is that important? Because if it didn't get transmitted on set, then you have a lot less danger that it's in the wild or uncontained, where you don't really know how many people got exposed. So for just this week, we've been shut down all week as they investigated what happened here, made sure that they knew everyone who was exposed to this individual, and retested anyone who may have been exposed. And then we won't start shooting again until we know for sure that it's contained. So there you go. That's kind of the situation. And again, we don't know whether it's a guy or a girl, and we as an industry do nothing but try to help and respect that person, and we certainly hope he or she gets the help that they need. Anything to add to that, Bryan?
No, I mean, just you put it perfectly. I mean, again, sex work is different than working at a normal, or not, I don't mean to say normal, but another job that is more quantifiable, and it takes an element of real. It has different risks, is what I'm saying, and that it's just one of the things that we deal with, and that I really appreciate just the way that we do it to make sure that it doesn't get spread or transmitted to anybody else, and it's it's just one of the risks of this industry, having sex really in life.
Yeah, as far as we know, no one has actually transmitted a HIV on set since 2004. So that's a pretty good track record. This system does actually work for the most part. It's possible that something could happen, but for the most part it works. And people have to understand that we're entertainers. We all are. And there's a risk, just the same way that, if you're a football player, then you can end up with a concussion anytime you go out on the field. And if you're a pro wrestlers, I don't know if you saw the movie with, was it Randy the Ram?
Oh yeah,
I forget the name of it. Yeah. And that guy in the movie is like 50 years old or so, and his doctors told him that you're going to die if you go out and wrestle again. And he tries to stay away, but then he just chooses to do it. He climbs up to the top rope, and in the end of the movie, spoiler here, he's about to pretty much risk his life. That's kind of what we do. We're all aware that, some really bad things can happen, but we love what we do, and we do our best to minimize the risk, and we're okay with it. We understand that risk is there.
Yeah, and is that you can contract STDs out in the real world without not on set or in the industry as well. You know what I mean? So it's really just a matter of understanding and managing different risks.
But
what's funny,
speaking
Bryan?
to both of you guys in your case is what you've just said. For all intents and purposes, though, the average person doesn't go out and get tested every 2 weeks. Therefore, your chances probably on one of you guys' sets of getting a disease is less than if you or I or anybody goes out and has sex with somebody who we haven't known for a great deal of time.
Right.
Yeah, I'm terrified of having sex outside our industry. I went to Dominican Republic for vacation last month, and I kept thinking, well, if I meet a girl and then I have sex with her, like, I don't know if she's been tested or what. And, you know, you use a condom, but you're not really sure exactly what you're getting into. But, you know, at the same time, I'm so much happier that the girls that I have sex with off camera and on camera, I know they're tested within the last 14 days. It's not them I'm scared of having sex with.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Well, and a lot of it is, you know, I mean, it's stigma drives so much of the you know, the a lot of the fear, you know what I mean? And it's just that stuff in the industry. We are better at understanding and coping with and you know, disregarding stigma, or at least we try to be. So you know, it's like much better. It's getting tested often, as much, you know, every 2 weeks is much better than what the rest of the population does.
Mm-hmm. Well, where is the industry going, Bryan? Where do you see yourself doing in 5 years here?
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Well, I've got a lot of ideas, and I think about this stuff a lot as an independent producer, and just me and what I, you know, my stake in this industry. I mean, if I'm it's hard to make any prediction, but I do believe, or at least I think that the internet is going to move in more of a direction of regulation, with net neutrality and everything. I think that the conversation has started around what it would be like, what it would look like to regulate the internet, or, you know, does the internet need regulation? That conversation has started. The way I look at it is, you know, we're in the Wild West of the internet and have been for 10, 15 years. And as someone who owns a legitimate business on the internet, you know, I have certain interests and whatnot around that stuff. And, you know, I think that regulation is going to start coming in. And I think, hopefully, my hope is that, you know, the tube site machine gets shaken up a little bit, the industry finally, or, you know, gets some type of real comprehensive platform. Something happens which makes it so that independent producers can become successful more, you know, often or at all, really. I mean, it's like the way it is now, being an independent producer coming into the industry from the outside, is very difficult to be what anyone would label successful. And as far as I'm concerned, that's mostly due to you know, what I call the free porn epidemic and free porn culture. This culture that's developed in the last 10 years in the mainstream population, that porn is free, should be free, and always will be free. And it's really interesting, you know, I part of me is opposed to free porn as a businessman, because I own content. And then a big part of me is also against free porn culture for the effects that I see it has on society and sexuality especially. So that's kind of, so where do I see it in 5 years? I see myself, you know, making good, real, independent, honest content, and just trying to make my way through this through the industry.
You just want to keep doing this forever. That's what you're saying.
I mean, I'm locked in, man. I mean, there's no, you know what I'm saying? This is my,
I'm 49, business. Man. I got no other skills. I got no place to go.
Exactly.
This is your 401k.
Yeah.
This is my 401k. And I'm not going to be getting laid by 19-year-olds if I get out of the industry, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, exactly. And, yeah, so I don't have any plan on getting out. And that's actually an important thing that I would say to anyone coming in, like, yes, have an exit strategy whenever you can. That's good business or life advice. But don't get into this thing if you think you're going to get rich quick, or that you want to just be in it for a couple of years and then get out. I mean, I think that the people in this business who really have an effect and are worthy of respect are people who have are committed to it.
Well, Ryan, that's a great. I was going to say that's a great place to begin to wrap things up here.
Sure.
It's wonderful to have that kind of. If you're not passionate about it, then you don't want to be in it.
Oh yeah.
Let's ask Bryan to along those lines. You've got somebody out there in the world who's passionate and thinks they want to be in the adult industry. Let's wrap this up by having you give your best advice to somebody about how they get started and how they can take that plunge.
Yeah. Number one is make sure that you are healthy physically and mentally, that you're in the right place to take on a life-changing project first. I mean, I feel like a lot of people want to jump into this without realizing that this will change your life, and that if you don't have all of your house in order before you start something like this, that can be really disruptive and harmful to your life. So that's number one. Number two, passion is number one, is everything. I mean, you have to have a real passion that when no one else is around, when you don't have social media to get feedback from, whatever, the passion is still there. You have to be passionate, have an unending source of passion that you can always draw from, and that will sustain you, because the way I look at it, most people, just lose the passion or lose the, whatever that they had that motivated them. And that's when you fail, because if you have passion and drive, you really can't fail. And then the third thing I'd say is really, as a male performer, a heterosexual male performer, really know that this job is first and foremost about understanding women as a hetero performer, understanding your partner, your scene partner, and that if you want to do this job, you are going to be put through the college of life, the ultimate school of life, and you really need to be open and willing to understand women and respect them on a real fundamental level. If you have any questions, or think that you don't have that figured out, or you have any kind of animosity to women or anything like that, this is not the job for you whatsoever. And people will find that out, and that will come out, and you will fail. So just make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. That's what I tell everybody. That's what this job is all about.
But I got to nail you down to something more concrete here. Should people get a resume ready to send out to try to apply to be a porn director, or because you're one of the few people that actually managed to crack the code here and start from nowhere and get into the industry?
I mean, I got on XBiz forum, and I started making posts saying, hey, I have this idea, I want to do this, can anybody help me? Start talking to people. That's really the only advice that I could have, concrete, is just start talking to people and the passion, and have passion, and it will carry you through, because there are no resumes, no one, as far as I know.
No.
There are no applications. It's really just about talking to people and doing things for the right reasons. That is concrete. That will take you. You know what I mean? Because people see that, and they'll hire you because of that. And that's my best advice.
Well, and I assume also, guys, that it also takes some business sense as well. I mean, you have to be realistic, as you said about. Go ahead.
Well, there is something. A lot of times people ask me how to get into the industry, and what it really is how you get into any industry. I mean, do you want to work for somebody? Do you want to be an employee of an industry, or do you want to own a business in an industry? Those are two separate things, and you got to decide which one of those you want to do. You know, and some people want to, if you just want to be a porn performer or whatnot, that's one thing. But if you want to own a business and you know, be a part of the trade market that goes on, then that's a whole different thing, you know.
Well, I'll tell you what. How do we get in touch with you? Social media, the sites, the whole 10 yards. Twitter,
Bryan Gozzling, all one word. The website is hookuphotshot.com. That's pretty much the only social media, or that's all the media that's really worth mentioning. And we are, you know, new update every week, shot in 4K, streaming and download, lots of really new special stuff coming up. So now's the time to join.
Very cool. And lifetime membership.
Get out there and join. Lifetime membership at $9.99 per month right now. Go get that.
Yeah.
I'm getting that.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Thanks very much to our guest, Bryan Gozzling, for joining us. We'll be back with more of Let's Talk Adult right after this.
The local wine shop, a place where people go to get confused, frustrated, and end up picking pretty labels instead of great wine. Well, now there's a better way. At tastingroom.com, America's #1 personalized wine club. Every bottle is selected based on your personal wine profile, and fewer than 1 in 50 wines makes it through our rigorous selection process. We're so sure that you'll love our wines that every bottle is backed by our total satisfaction guarantee. The Huffington Post calls Tasting Room the first wine club to get it right. Get amazing wines at incredible prices, selected just for you, delivered right to you. Go to tastingroom.com and receive your exclusive tasting kit of world-class wines. Once you get your kit, taste, rate, and build your personal profile one sip at a time. It's a no-brainer. Great wine without the guesswork, backed by our total satisfaction guarantee. Go to tastingroom.com, enter promo code GRAPE8, and get your exclusive tasting kit, a $40 value for just $6.95. Tastingroom.com, code GRAPE8. Tastingroom.com. Taste, rate, enjoy.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Now, if you have not yet taken the opportunity to join and subscribe to our podcast, please do that. We make it very simple. All you have to do is go to the iTunes store. Why? Because we're pleased to be part of the Apple Podcast family. You can find us at Google Play. You can find us at Spreaker, Stitcher, Spotify, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, YouTube, and many, many other places. All you have to do is search Let's Talk Adult with Glenn King and Jim Williams. That's Let's Talk Adult with Glenn King and Jim Williams. And guess what? All you have to do is hit the favorite button or the subscribe button, and each week you'll get a brand new edition of the show sent directly to your tablet or to your phone or to both, okay? We sure make it simple so we can get more subscribers. Please go out there and help us today. All right, thanks so much. Okay. We know that a lot of you want desperately to know more about what's going on in the industry. Not a problem. We are here for you. And if you have any guests that you want specifically for us to seek it down, then that's not a problem either. But what you have to do is very simply hit us up on our email address, which is Let's Talk Adult. That's Let's Talk Adult at gmail.com. Let's Talk Adult at gmail.com. Send us all your comments, requests, and everything to that email address, and we will do our best to get back to you and let you know what we're doing. Okay? All right. So without any further ado, Mr. King, some closing thoughts.
Closing thoughts. Here's a quote for you. This one relates to Bryan Gozzling, and it's from the great Frank Zappa. And he tells us, if you end up with a boring, miserable life because you listen to your mom, your dad, your teacher, your priest, or some guy on television telling you how to do your shit, then you deserve it. So don't be like that. Be like Bryan. Don't listen to anybody. Follow your passion and be what you want to be in life.
Well said, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to Let's Talk Adult with Glenn King and Jim Williams. Join us next week. All right? Take care and have a wonderful week.